Hi, it's Scott Dikkers, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And I'm going to critique some of your work tonight. Some of you guys sent in some material. I'm going to look at a few headlines, a few jokes, an article, and a stand-up bit on YouTube. So we'll see if I can master the technology to make that all work here. I don't think I'm going to share my screen for the articles, headlines. I'm just going to read those. And if you are watching and listening and you want to comment on the material, if you want to provide your own feedback, I'll read your chat and I'm happy to have you chime in as well. And I'm sure the people who wrote these will also be very glad to get your feedback. So let's get right to it. Oh, hi, Scott Dikkers is my name, proprietor of howtowritefunny.com. Welcome to the How to Write Funny YouTube channel and this video. If you like it, hit the subscribe button. I'll help make your writing funnier. So here we go. First off, we have some jokes. Looks like 13 jokes from Hugh. Hugh, thank you so much for the list of 13. Can't tell you how many times people come to me with one joke that they want me to critique. It's just a bad situation. Somebody comes at you with one joke and it's not good, which it usually isn't. You're just going to go, could use some work. And then you've crushed their spirit. You've crushed their one idea. But a professional comes with at least 10 jokes. That way you can go through the whole list and you can say, oh yeah, number 3 and number 7 were pretty good. And that's generally how it works. You're going to have a ratio of like 1 to 2 jokes in that list are going to be workable. The rest you're going to throw away. That's just how it is. But let's see how Hugh did. On these, I have, oh no, I don't have 13 jokes. I have 10. Anyway, the numbers got all messed up. Here we go on the jokes. Honoring my inner child today meant not allowing some fool talk at me like I was a fucking idiot. So like, I kind of need bail money now. Okay, first of all, I want to say all these jokes are not contextualized. I don't know what they're for. I don't know if they're headlines, article ideas, tweets, and that's good. That's actually great. You want jokes to stand on their own, and the context is super important, but in an arena like this where we're just critiquing them, the context should somehow be inferred. So you should look at it and know immediately, oh yeah, that's a great tweet or that's a great article, whatever. It shouldn't need caveats. It shouldn't need setup, because in the real world, the way the audience is going to get these jokes, presumably, is they're just going to happen upon them online. They're going to hear them on stage. We don't know. So in this particular venue, the less context or caveats, the better. Next joke. Now that I've switched from drinking hot tea every day, I couldn't help but wonder if I had inadvertently cured cancer. Next one. Some days I can't tell if it's an eyelash or bullet shrapnel clawing its way across my cornea. Next one, follow Gary V's Instagram because he's the vanilla ice of self-help. Next, my therapist told me she'd be Botox for my childhood. Next, is there a Chuck E. Cheese for adults? Perhaps a Chuck E. Cheese for alcoholics. Next, bad relationships end in 6 months tops. Demented relationships, on the other hand, 25-year minimum. Next joke, and just like that, I shit my pants. Next joke. It's a sobering day when you realize America is mostly just one giant strip mall with chronic erectile dysfunction and all the soft dick problems that come with that. Next joke. One day we all just stopped eating fish sticks and all hell broke loose. All right, so a very interesting collection of jokes. There's a sort of madcappy, shocky vibe going through it all with a lot of non sequitur humor and some mild shock and some over-the-top shock. But those are kind of the primary funny filters here. I'm thinking these would make good tweets. And the great thing about tweeting out a joke is you can test it and you can see if anybody likes it or whatever. And a great tactic is to tweet a bunch of jokes, and the ones that get the most likes, you can use those on stage, maybe use them to start a bit, like set up a bit. You know, it's a really great way to crowdsource or workshop your material before giving it to a wider audience or when you're on stage when there's more pressure. But the second joke about inadvertently curing cancer, that was the first one where I was like, okay, that could work. But there's something missing. I'm not sure I get the logic of switching from tea to inadvertently curing cancer. And then the next one was a reference joke about whether it's an eyelash or bullet shrapnel clawing its way across my cornea. That reminded me of a certain type of Onion headline we used to do, excuse me, written by Jamie Brew, where he would do these hyperbole jokes that were really small reference jokes, but they were articulated with just extreme hyperbole. So that struck me as workable. And Gary Vee was a little character joke. It was okay. Therapist, Botox from my childhood. It's an interesting analogy. I'm not sure if it crosses the funny meter. Maybe something to keep working on. The Chuck E. Cheese for alcoholics, that struck me as pretty funny. It's good irony. And then the bad relationships, demented relationships, relatable. I think that's a pretty instant laugh, some good irony there. And then the shit my pants one, that was the over-the-top shock one. And the next one about the mall and the fish sticks, wasn't really sure what the subtext was on that last one. Maybe it was just a non sequitur joke. But Hugh, if you are here with us, I would be very curious to know. Let me see if I can find. There we go. The chat here. Hugh, if you can clue us into what these are for, maybe I can tell you a little bit more. But that's my 2 cents. A lot of people left some comments here on those. That's very helpful. Thank you very much, everyone, for chiming in. Oh, hey, Hugh. Yeah, let me know. I'll come back to you. I'm going to move on to the next piece, which is from Jacob, who is here with us, I see in the comments. It's a piece it's an article, perhaps McSweeney's article, something like that. And here we go. The headline is, "Checking your phone again, fuckhead? A letter from your 17 unread issues of The New Yorker." And I assume it's issues. It says issue. "Dear fuckhead, oh, you're checking your phone again, because I'm just wondering what could be more important than me, your 17 unread issues of The New Yorker magazine. Yes, I will challenge your presuppositions, drive you to think deeper, and make you feel morally superior to your friends. And oh, you're refreshing your Twitter feed again? You're on Facebook again, fucknut. Oh, you're on Facebook again, fucknut? No, you're on Facebook again, fucknut? Oh, and we just found your aunt's church friend, unclear why she's still on your feed, sharing a meme comparing vaccines to Auschwitz? Why can't I speak tonight? Auschwitz. Great use of your time and energy. Nothing like the investigative journalism in my pages on misinformation of low-educated and highly religious people. Checking your email for the 616th time today, fuck swiper? Any life-changing emails in your spam folder this time? Any dream job offers yet? No. You're checking again? The fuck? It's been 0.2 seconds. I have new information every 0.2 seconds if you would read me. Instagram again, dickwit. Of course. How could dozens of clever hand-drawn cartoons compete with a close-up picture of a teary-eyed raccoon captioned with the words, mentally sick, physically thick? I see now why you recycled the other 16 issues. How could articles and cartoons from the country's top humorists hold a candle to people sharing about how penis is their first Wordle guess? I guess we're done for. Watching TikToks again, chucklefuck? Great. Let's whittle that 3-second attention span all the way down to nothing. I'm sorry I'm not as entertaining as twerking women dressed as pirates. Yo-hos? But unless you enjoy the feeling of dull horniness for extended periods of time, why not read a fucking book? Don't know what book to read? I review books. Oh, we're back to Facebook, fuckhead. Yep, your aunt and her friends are still comparing free healthcare to being a Jew in the Holocaust. And oh, look, she's about to go off on transgender people. Don't want to miss this. Sure, my latest issue features stories of queer Holocaust survivors, but I think you're going to get a lot more out of this interaction. Oh, my ever-loving fuck, you're back to Instagram. You just checked this one. Oh, people are reaching to your story, or reacting to your story. I wonder what that feels like. I am full of stories that are a little more meaningful than asking a poll about which mental illness you think you have. I've got opinions from professionals. Do you remember them? Resharing a post advocating for abortion rights. Resharing a post advocating for abortion rights, fucklicker. Great to hear that you're pro-choice because you're constantly choosing to waste your time with worthless distractions and virtue signaling instead of reading me. Playing Wordle again, fuck knocker. What's a 5-letter word for someone who will do anything besides focus on one thing for more than 18 seconds? Idiot. You almost gave up on Noel Day. Not sure I get that. Should I change my crossword puzzle to a 5-letter guessing game that holds your hand through the thing? Would that be better for you? Wikipedia entry, fucker all? Really, this is like the For Dummies books if they were written by dummies. You really want to get your information on a complex global issue from people researching the Israeli-Palestine conflict 1 minute, then whacking off to Lolo Bunny erotica the next? How about, I don't know, experts? So now you're actually fucking yourself, fuckface? And oh my God, Lola Bunny erotica. This was not what Steve Jobs had in mind when he made the iPhone. How do I know? Because there's a whole fucking article about it in the 8th issue you ignored. Oh, now your mom is texting you about what you commented on your aunt's Auschwitz post? Fucking activist? Sure, leave her on read. That's more than I can say for us. Sincerely, your 17 unread New Yorker issues. P.S. Have you thought about our digital subscription? All right. Thank you, Jacob, for that piece. Let me see what other people said before I start blabbing about it. Other people are saying, New York Magazine, funny headline, ha. Yeah, I also thought this headline was amusing. I am not a forlorn New Yorker online subscriber, so I don't get those messages, but I can relate. And so this reminds me of the fucking gourd season article from McSweeney's, famous McSweeney's piece. And the comment that the editor gave the writer of that piece was the original piece had a lot of different swear words. The writer was trying to be careful. Not careful, what's the word? Was trying to be clever, inserting new and interesting swear words every time. And the note was, we'll just stick to one. And I would say the same thing here. It seems like it's just an exercise in repetitiveness that doesn't pay off as any kind of escalation to keep getting a new funny swear word that the New Yorker calls the person. So, and I don't think that format works where it's like, you're on Facebook again, fucknut. You're on Instagram again, dipwit, dipshit, and then you go on and on. I think it doesn't create the kind of easy reading like pattern that you want. I think what it's doing is just causing it to feel repetitive. So I would mix up the paragraphs and get rid of those swear words. And then lastly, and this is my main note about the piece, I don't think it escalates enough. So basically he just moves from one social media to another, and that's not escalation. Moving from Instagram to Facebook, back to Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. We're not really escalating the interaction with the aunt. So it's all just kind of flatlining. It's the same joke. And a comedy piece needs to escalate. So you do escalate it at the end when he's masturbating, but that's really the first beat of escalation. And you got to have more. You got to have one in the first paragraph and then one every paragraph thereafter. So if you mix up the way the paragraphs are structured, escalate it. And I would also say, think more about this character of the letter from the New Yorker. So I don't think enough is done to exploit that. Think of a forlorn person. Like, what would a forlorn person who is forgotten say? Would their feelings be hurt? Like, that's a thing you could escalate, is their feelings, what emotional roller coaster do they go through, that make it not just be about the guy who he's writing to. Then you have two, and an audience can keep track of two characters. Like, that's a good thing to sort of escalate them in parallel. where the guy is ignoring the letter more and the letter is getting more upset. That would be something to work toward. So that's my feedback on that piece, Jacob. Good luck. Glad it was helpful. Yeah, you've got a lot of good takes. We saw your piece last time we did this, a different piece, and it's a good take, but escalation is really hard. Escalation is one of the hardest things, and you can never go wrong by escalating too hard and too fast. Almost never. That's rarely the problem. 99% of the time, the problem is not escalating enough. So push it. Try to go over the top with your escalation, and you'll probably be in the sweet spot that readers will like. So nice work, Jacob. Keep it up. Next, we have some headlines that TJ wrote for the Beaverton, which is sort of like a Canadian version of the Onion, and they are looking for writers. So this is for a submission. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if I get any Canada jokes that come my way. Works in progress of, oh, sorry, that was the header. Bag of crunchy granola resents being used to describe anti-vax hippies. Man, I'm just going to read from one to the next. Man argues circles around anti-vaxxer in his mind. Attractive woman doesn't understand why no one will tell her about Bitcoin. Man convinced he can get through to anti-vaxxer friend if he presents her with the science neither of them understands. Near eradication of North American bison, a boon to haters of incessant mooing. Internet troll wonders if he'll ever achieve dream of harassing women in person. Ticketmaster adds $58 service charge for thinking about seeing concert. Oh, Ticketmaster adds $58 service charge for thinking about seeing concert. Homeless people are parasites on society, declares social media manager of Celebrity Pug. Music today empirically sucks, concludes study funded by National Association of People Over 35. Pirates delighted to become figures of children's entertainment in spite of all that murder and rape. Man grateful to be able to blame his mediocrity on young people these days. Issue definitively settled by commenter posting 36 memes. I think that would be funnier if it was just one meme. Settled by commenter posting meme. That friend on social media bristling to pounce on any pop culture you dare enjoy. Man tells social media friends to think for themselves, like his copied and pasted screed says so. Microdosing radically increases man's ability to tell people about microdosing. Slam poet struggles to overcome deficit of supportive parents, comfortable upbringing, satisfying sex life. Trucker convoy demands change of government, diapers. All right. Nice list, TJ. I think there's 2 or 3 on here that are pretty good. I think it maybe have been a little obvious, but I did think the Bitcoin, the attractive woman not understanding why no one will tell her about Bitcoin, was working. And I think the bag of crunchy granola resenting being used to describe anti-vax hippies could possibly work. And I think people would like it and relate to it. Hugh liked the internet troll joke. Stephen liked the microdosing joke. I thought the microdosing joke was a good use of that wordplay device of word repetition. And it's also true, so it's interesting and has good subtext. It's subtle, And the slam poet, I don't know, do a lot of slam poets are a lot of slam poets just like privileged people who don't have any problems? I would have thought it was somewhat the opposite, but let's see what else we got that I thought was working. The Ticketmaster one I thought was pretty good. Ticketmaster adds $58 service charge for even thinking. I think you need thinking in italics. Otherwise, the meaning is lost on the first read. And today's music empirically sucks. Didn't quite work. A lot of people were talking about that with the Super Bowl halftime show. So maybe it would work because it's a current events reference. And Hugh also liked Pirates joke. Pirates delighted to become figures of children's entertainment in spite of all that murder and rape. I have heard that observation before quite a few times, so I'd be wary of that. And I liked the issue definitively settled by commenter posting meme, if you change it to one meme. And so that's a good amount. I mean, that looks like about 15 headlines. You know, there's 3 or 4 pretty strong ones there. So keep it up, TJ. You want to have however many they're asking for. I'm not sure how many headlines you're supposed to submit, but you want all of them to be super strong. You don't want to have any weak ones on the bunch. That's how you'll get that job. And good luck. All right, so next we have a YouTube video to watch, Steven's stand-up act. So I'm going to share the screen here. Wish me luck. I'm going to, oh boy, it's making me do stuff. Okay, pardon me one moment. Oh, I have to, this is so annoying. I've never shared my screen on this particular computer before, so.
I am a single dude who owns a studio apartment in New York City. So when it comes to having kids, I'm a realist. I really, really don't want them. Friends have said, Steven, if you don't have kids, who's going to look out after you when you get older? And that's not a reason to have kids. That's a reason to date younger women. Having kids could ruin my life. My parents had me, and it ruined my life. I don't know if you all can tell this just by looking at me, but both of my parents are not cool. It's genetic. I got my 23andMe back. I am 50% Ashkenazi Jew and 50% Dwight from The Office. I just turned 40. People are starting to say that life begins at 40, except for the Christians who are still saying that life begins when your pull-out game gets weak. I know who the Catholics are in the front row now. I got a BFA in theater. If you don't know, the F in BFA stands for fucking useless. So I've been in sales for the last 15 years, and people are always really impressed with that for some reason. They're like, wow, sales, that's got to be so tough, but it can't be. I can do it. You guys want to know the secret of sales? You guys are a great audience. I'm just going to tell you the secret of sales anyways. All right, you ready? Step 1, listen to people talk about their kids. Easy. Step 2, never ever say, God, having kids sounds awful. They won't buy from you after that. I've been in sales for so long that I've started seeing life through sales-colored glasses. Okay, so like comedy. Comedy is just me trying to sell an audience on the idea that if you don't laugh at this joke, I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, enough of you laughed. All right, we're good. Cool. Serious note, this is the face of depression. And yes, sadness is very sexy. I have ADHD, so if any of you jostle or heckle during my set, that's not just rude, it's also a violation of the American Disabilities Act. I don't want to have to cancel you. I went on a date recently. I went on a date recently, and I wanted to be open and honest. So I said, "Hey, I've got ADHD," and she said, "Oh, that's not a real thing. That's just something that they made up so Big Pharma could make more money." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, tell me something you do believe in." And she said, "Scientology." Normally, I would have ended the date right there, but I've got a thing for women with Miss Piggy voice. It's hot. I just got a new talent agent, and I don't think she has any faith in my acting abilities. So far, the only role she sent me out for range from white guy who's selfish to white guy who's evil and might be a Jew. The last role she sent me out for was a U.S. senator whose only goal in life was to pass a bill to criminalize wet ass pussy. Not the song. I'm going to say something that we can all agree on real quick just to pull you all back. Thank God Johnny Cash is dead. The silent majority agrees, because if he was still alive, all we'd be doing is listening to him cover the greatest hits of other people's greatest hits.
I'm muted. Sorry, guys. You didn't hear any of that. It's, me figuring out this technology. My apologies. You heard Stephen, but you couldn't hear me. So what I was saying was that a lot of the act was, up to this point, Stephen talking about his problems like depression, ADHD, stuff like that, which I think is all excellent material for subtext, but it's not so great when it's really on the nose. You could even hear the audience sort of getting uncomfortable during that part, because the audience doesn't want this to be a therapy session for you. They just want laughs and they just want jokes. And that kept going. And so now we just saw a part where we heard about Stephen's acting, his agent, and that all felt sort of real. And I didn't really get the humor of it. It was just sort of reporting on what had happened. I think the jokes could really be stronger. My earlier comment, which I assume was also didn't have any audio in it, my apologies, was that a lot of the jokes were lacking the funny filters. So they were more like flat observations about life and about Stephen himself. And I felt like it needed funny filters. It needed to be filtered through especially some hyperbole, because Stephen has a great look and he's got a great voice for comedy. And those two together are really going to sail when the material is matching that delivery medium of Stephen himself. So yeah, work in some more hyperbole, try to work in some madcap, and you can funny all this stuff up. A lot of your subtext is fine. It needs a lot more funny filters. Let's see if I can keep playing this and see if everybody can hear me. And very sorry for all that.
Okay, hurt is too good. For example, Umbrella by Rihanna would just be Umbrella, Ella, Ella, hey, hey, hey. Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People would be all the other kids with the pumped up kicks. Better run, outrun my bullets. And of course, Cardi B's Wet Ass Pussy. There's some whores in this house. There's some, you guys get the point. I'm gonna finish on you all with this. 11 years ago, I moved to Harlem, and my best friend in the world, Campbell Kennedy, who is a black man, called me and said, Stephen.
Okay, so the impression was good and it was funny. That's the sort of thing I've seen a lot, is a celebrity doing a popular song, or a sort of old-timey celebrity doing modern slang. But it works. Like, it's so that's kind of a winning combination when you can do an impression and use some irony. As Jacob says, it's character parody as well. The audience loved it, even though the material wasn't really that strong. So if you want to bring the Johnny Cash is like good. It's a good impression and it's funny. If you're going to do some impressions, I'd say do a few more, drop them in. Otherwise, it feels like, hey, out of the blue, we're an impressionist now. I think it's good to sort of establish that up front. But I would work on that bit. I would do one song and I would try to think of a way to add more funny filters to that Johnny Cash bit, or give it a few more beats so it escalates a little more. And yeah, great. That's the great kind of like silly, funny comedy that audiences come to comedy clubs to see. That's what they want. They don't want to hear about our personal problems. That's my personal opinion. All right, let's keep going.
So disappointed in you. That's so problematic. It's gentrification. And I was like, wait, what's gentrification? I don't know. Come on, Campbell. I'm the good one. And he hung up on me. And then after the next 7 years went by, other white people moved in and they brought their hot yoga studios, their fair trade coffee shops, and every white person's favorite artisanal mayonnaiseries. And I had to move out. The rent went up too high. And I called Campbell. I said, Campbell, you were right. It is problematic. I was gentrified out of my own gentrification. And Campbell said, Stephen, are you just calling to tell me this so the audience knows you have a black friend? Guys, thanks so much. You've been very sexually attractive. Give it up.
Okay, nice work there, Stephen. Yeah, so one last comment about Stephen. I think your stage confidence is awesome. I love how even when a joke bombs, your confidence doesn't waver. Like I see you being consistent on stage. You're acting like you're killing. And that's exactly what you want to do. The weakest part of your whole stand-up right now is the material. I think you need to work on a lot more material and really beef it up comedy-wise. Find your funniest stuff and finesse it, lead with it, and try to replace all the other stuff. And you see where the audience is like totally not laughing or sort of politely laughing. Start to come up with some new material and work it in to replace that stuff quickly, and always weed out the stuff that's not working. Try to weave in more new stuff that is working. All right. Thank you very much, Steve. And thank you, everyone else. Very sorry about the technical problem. That was the first time I had a live YouTube video playing on this format, and I totally was muted. So that was ridiculous. But I think I repeated everything I said later. So if you can suffer through all of my silent stuff, you're going to get to what I had to say anyway. It'll just be an exercise in futility for us all, and I apologize for that. But again, thank you all for submitting your material. Thank you all for watching and for commenting. Super helpful to all of these creators to get some feedback on their stuff. And good luck to all of you, whatever you're working on. Good luck submitting. Good luck continuing to do the comedy and get better at it on stage. And until next time, this is Scott of How to Write Funny, where you can go to get a lot more tips on how to write funnier and how to build your comedy career, or just, add some jokes to your speech. We cover it all there. And I wish you all a good night. Take care.